90 days ago, I posted my first video on this channel with no subscribers, no experience, and no real idea of what I was doing. Today, I want to give you a completely honest version of what those 90 days actually looked like. Not a highlight reel, and definitely not the polished version. The real highs, the real lows, what I got wrong, what I got really wrong, and exactly what I'm going to change going forward. If you're earlier in your journey than me, then this video will save you from some of those mistakes that I made. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Adam, and this channel is all about growing on YouTube from scratch, documented honestly and in real time. If you want to follow along with my journey, please don't forget to subscribe. I post a new video every week. Now, let's talk about the last 90 days. So let's start with the numbers, because I think honesty starts with the data and not the story. In the last 90 days, I've posted 17 long form videos and 179 shorts. I'm sitting at 68 subscribers and 73,425 total views. My best video got just under 2,000 views, and my worst, well, it got 1. So what actually went pretty well? Because there were some real wins here, even in a mixed 90 days. The first high was I actually got some subscribers. That moment proved to me that the strategy worked and what I was going to do was actually going to be successful if I executed it properly. The second high was consistency. I committed to posting weekly, and I actually did it for 90 days. I posted every single week. Now that sounds small, but most channels don't even make it that far. Most fail after just 3 weeks. The third was experience. Even when the views weren't there, I built real transferable skills every single week. I want to be genuinely honest here. The biggest low for me was actually the pickup. There were points in these 90 days where I questioned whether this was all worth it. I was putting a lot of time into the content and it was not really doing anything. I won't pretend that the doubt wasn't real. The second low was watching videos I'd put real effort into getting less than 10 views, and ones that I'd just really thrown together doing much better. That was generally quite confusing and really demoralising. The third low was realising that while AI is a good tool to use, you can't rely on it for everything, and sometimes anything. This was a real biggie for me. I used ChatGPT to create a structure for me where I could just give it a title and what I wanted the video to be about, and then it would actually create a full script, also in a teleprompter format, give me some ideas for other better potential titles and thumbnails. And looking back, what it did was turn me into a robot. It took all of my personality out of the videos. I'll probably do a video about that in the not too distant future. Not as a how-to, but a how not to. Because I think it's a big mistake that a lot of new creators can fall into, and I don't want that. So here's what I got wrong. The stuff I can clearly see in hindsight that slowed me down. I didn't take my titles and thumbnails seriously enough early on. I was spending hours on the content itself, and then writing a title in 30 seconds at the end. It was almost an afterthought. My click-through rate on my first 4-5 videos was less than 20%. Well below where I wanted it to be, and also where I needed it to be. I also didn't research keywords properly enough before choosing a topic. I was making a video about what I found interesting, rather than what people would actually want to watch and search for. These aren't catastrophic mistakes, and they're mistakes that pretty much every new creator makes, but they were costing me views, and that hurt. But here's the deeper mistakes. The titles and videos unearthed one problem, and I treated them a bit like decoration, instead of actually probably the most important sales tool on my entire channel. And I knew this intellectually, but I wasn't acting on it. The real issue wasn't a skills gap. I can write a good title once I sit down and think about it, but I relied on the AI way too much. But the real issue was priority. I was prioritising the parts of the process that felt creative and satisfying to me. The filming, the editing, all of this way over the parts that actually determine whether anyone watches what I made or not. And that's a really uncomfortable thing to admit, but I think it's the most useful insight over the last 90 days. The skill wasn't missing. The discipline to apply it consistently, 100% was. Here's what exactly changes starting now. First, every single video gets a minimum of 30 minutes dedicated specifically to the title and thumbnail. Now, that could be writing or creating or just some general research before I do anything else. I'm writing 5 options, no more 30-second afterthoughts. Second, every topic gets run through YouTube search autocomplete before I commit to filming it. If there's no evidence that people are searching for it, I'm going to move on. I'm done guessing. Third, I'm tracking click-through rate and average view duration on every video. And I'm going to review it more often. Not just glancing at the total view count from time to time. The answers on how to do well at YouTube is in the analytics. You just need to know how to read it. Invest some time in doing that. And fourth, well, I'm committing to the next 90 days with these changes. And I'm going to come back and do this same honest breakdown again. So that's my first 90 days as a YouTuber, completely honestly. Mixed results, some amazing highs and some gutting blows, and real mistakes. But the biggest takeaway for me from all this, the gap between where I am and where I want to be isn't talent, it's focus. I know what works, I just wasn't consistently doing it enough. If you're earlier in your journey than me, please learn from my mistakes. Take your titles and your thumbnails as seriously as your content from video 1. Subscribe if you want to follow me for the next 90 days. Drop a comment, tell me where you are in your journey. I'll read every single comment and I'll do my best to reply. See you in the next video. Bye bye.